Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan in the background with a screenwriter's rant on The Kingsman, which is a prequel to the Kingsmen's movies, which I was never really a big fan of, but this one looks pretty cool. So smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way to do it is to buy a book. Woke a novel. Hollywoke, another novel, political satire, and of course the Pineys books 1 through 6, comedy horror in South Jersey. Book 7 dropping soon. And you can get it all at Amazon.com. Kindle Unlimited is free and we still get paid. And we have an audiobook for Wokistan. Now, Rasputin is the baddie in this one, which I think is an appropriate, cool villain, because Rasputin was a real maniac, if you've ever read about him. You got, what's his name, Fiennes, as the original Kingsman, and the premise is it's a private intelligence agency that acts for Queen and country. And this is the lead up, or the just around World War One, because they show the assassination of the Archduke and various characters here. There's a ton of action in this, and I kind of like this better than the previous Kingsman movies, even though this is a prequel. I'm not a big fan of prequels, as you know. But this, to me, can work better because when you're doing... I don't want to show you the bloody part. This is for Christmas. I don't. It's not much of a Christmas movie. The birth of the Kingsman. Here's a plane jumping out of a plane. The cool part about this movie is, the lack of technology and the lack of surveillance. This was an era, that guy got stabbed, where spies were actually spies because there was a lot of intrigue. There was a lot of, the West at that time, December 22nd, by the way, the West in that era weren't necessarily going to win it all, right? They actually needed these guys. And this was a time period where the West was up and coming. Even though the Brits were really on their way out, they were, of course, very capable. And but the enemies abroad were pretty scary. Now America mostly runs the world, although I don't want to get into the whole political thing, but, this is a time when, the Russians could beat you, the Germans could beat you, you could have your whole country overrun. It was still during a chaotic period. And so the spy stuff works. The enemies are clearly defined, as opposed to now where everybody's so PC, they got to make up crazy villains that nobody feels are real. Rasputin was a real guy, and he was a maniac. He was an absolute maniac. And Fiennes is a great actor, so he's good for this. The Kingsman concept, what ruined the first Kingsman movie for me was the scene in which one of the main characters, what's his name, Colin, forget his last name, is it Firth, murders everybody in the church. It sullied his character. And this is sort of a newer character from our perspective anyway, and he's not sullied by that. His mission is clear. Everything's clear in this because you don't have the modern day kind of blurring the lines. The West's mission is important. It's clear. So the first act, you're going to get... I'm not exactly sure when this is going to start. If you got Rasputin in there, I would assume, just like all spy movies, it's going to start with a mission. And this Fiennes trying to do something. And then he ends up recruiting a kid, just like in the other movies, because they have a bigger mission on tap, which is, I guess, going after Rasputin, or Rasputin might be the lead up. I'm not sure. But second act is going to be all kinds of intrigue and action. Third act, they set everything up for the coming uh, years ahead, probably against the communists, because maybe you see the fall of the Russian czars, and then the rise of Stalin. So yeah, the lines were a lot more clearer then. So that's why this kind of intrigue works. It doesn't work when you're blurring the lines and saying, well, everybody's a bad guy. It doesn't really work in a spy movie. You kind of got to know who the players are. So I might see this. I'd probably wait until it's on a streaming service I already have, but beyond that, I think the action looks amazing. I like the time period. It's become more in vogue to do this time period around the World War One, because that's a time period that they had a big hit with 1917 and a few others. So now it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do that too. So this is a good time period. I'm not sure if they did a comic about it. It's definitely based on the comic. So cool. I'd like to see this, a little research, and you get the James Bond sort of gadgets, but you got to do it in almost like a steampunk way. So that's like another level here, where they could have the technology. Like, it's a little, what's advanced for them is like something we could have. You don't have cell phones and all the surveillance, right? These people could actually do stuff without being watched 24/7. So it's an interesting time. The Kingsmen, coming December 22nd in theaters.